1965 record releases from James Brown and the Fantastic Johnny C would take advantage of an already growing soul music dance craze called the Boogaloo.
Would you teach us how to do the James Brown Boogaloo?
Even the Puerto Rican musicians in New York would be influenced to start their own style they called the Latin Boogaloo. This new Boogaloo dance craze that we'll now call Soul Boogaloo would sweep the country and start a trend of dance craze records. When this trend hit the west coast city of Oakland, California, is when the dance began to change.
My name is Larry Thompson, aka The Pirate. In 1965, we started a dance group called Pirate and the Easy Walkers. We would come out with a skate, and then you take a couple steps this way, and you shake. And so that's how we came out, and that was our form of the Boogaloo. Then you had these young guys come in there, and I mean, they were moving and wiggling and doing things that we'd never seen before. It was the dawning of a new era. But here comes the new style with Jerry Rente, who was a much younger guy, and at that time he was very well known. That was a new style of Boogaloo.
With the 1967 release of James Brown's Cold Sweat, the intensity of the funk would come in and change the body movement of this new Oakland funk boogaloo generation.
My name is Jerry Rente, aka The Worm. I started dance while in junior high school at the age of 13, called the Boogaloo. I started dancing originally by myself, dancing against quite a few people, really showing people snapshots of my mind. I had a friend move down the street from me that same year. His name was Michael Enoch. I later learned about another guy, and his name was Albert Milton. Then we started the group 1+1. The Italian that LT did at the time when I saw it, real smooth and soft. So we took the Italian from soft and sliding to a stepping with a stomp and a bounce and a hop and a skip, bounce, hop. And from that hop you could go into your hard step. Starting out, we called ourselves Boogaloos. Then, as we developed and worked more, we also changed it to bugging. When we were bugging, we meant Boogaloo in the term of the style of dance. The freeze was a part of a step, to whereas in doing it, we stopped, and that pause was to lead into or accent the next movement. Worm originally started as a means to do turn in a step. One of the things that really got me started in the area of the Worm was they had a cartoon on. The cartoon had these superheroes. Rope Man was this guy who was so thin, his body looked like rope. Before he could fly, would always go. I would always go. I would always go. So that would have been February of '68 that I made Worm a separate step.
That information that was just shown gives you another perspective on what popping is and how deep the roots actually go. The power of information is what you want.
So now we go back to 1971 for the next evolution of the Oakland Funk Boogaloo.
My name is Charles Powell, better known as Chuck, and I was raised in Oakland. It was 1970, and they was having a dance, so I seen this guy, and his name was Jerry Durante, doing the Boogaloo, stop in the air. He was doing the puppet, coming through the doors, backsliding. It wasn't just the regular slide. It was like he had some kind of like fancy footwork working with it, and he was like it was Boogaloo, you know. And so back in 1971, I was influenced by how they move. Most Boogaloos in Oakland, that was one of the moves that a lot of Boogaloos did, was swinging your arms, you know, however you want, right? Worming, stopping in the air, Boogaloo and hook it up like this, stopping like they want to, rolling their necks. That was just part of the Boogaloo. Okay, the Black Messenger group started in 1972. We started turning the Boogaloo into a more robotic type of style. So that's how we went from the Boogaloo to the robot.
When you look at Boogaloo as the dance, as something soulful, as something where they're moving and they're expressing themselves and they throwing their head in it and all that kind of stuff, and the stuff that he's talking about, once you add the robot to it, you begin to use the robot and then the Boogaloo movement within some type of synchronicity. Meaning, if I'm roboting and I'm Boogalooing, I'm going to time it to the beat. And remember, popping is essentially the dancing robot. We're robots and we're dancing on beat. See? And the hit in between, the pop, is how we get to the next beat, which is how we get to the next beat, which is how we get to the next beat. This is essentially what popping is. So I'm continuing with Chuck.
Because it was cats already in Oakland that was roboting, like a group called the Aces or So. They was a robot group. And most of the other groups was just, they was either steppers, like the Black Resurgence, or they was robot.
Okay, this next piece is very important information. OG Chuck is going to explain, and we see how it ties into what we do today.
Okay, in Oakland, guys was posing, but it was just mainly a stop. They a Boogaloo, you know, when they Boogaloo, it just be stop, they just stop. Right. So the Messengers, we came with this concept of posing hard. We didn't call it popping, we call it posing. We took the soft style of dime stopping, right? And we added the tremble to it, right, to make it the hard pose, right? To create the type of style called posing hard. We took the soft style of dime stopping, right? And we added the tremble to it, right, to make it the hard pose, right? To create the type of style called posing hard.
Great information. Now, it's important for you guys to understand that I'm not saying that this is the only evolution of how popping and hitting and everything got started, because I'm going to read a quote from Canisso, a very educated popper over there on the East Coast. He was very close to Granny and the Robotroids, and he brought up a great point. It says that Elastic Boy, you can't mention the Pioneers without mentioning Elastic Boy and Terrible Don, and Elastic Boy is from Frisco and Don was from Oakland. Now, I don't, there's more history obviously that I don't know about. Another thing, in me giving you a educating you on some of the evolution. However, I'm not educating you on the base history. What I'm doing is right now the popping scene is in chaos because they're looking for the roots of this. And what I'm saying is you can't pinpoint it to one person when it comes to the Bay, because they all collectively put in to create the dance in different time periods and stuff like that. When the time periods that the people started creating, we don't know who did what first, as far as like what Oakland did and then what San Francisco did and what Fillmore did and stuff like that. But eventually it'll all work itself out. The main thing is we know that it didn't come. We know that a version of popping, which is the electric boogaloo style of popping, we know that came from something else. Got something for you guys. So let's try that fast. He's going slow. Bam.
Bam, right, to make it the hard pose. Bam, right? Bam.
Bam. Bam. Bam. It's faster. Bam. 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 See? Bam.
Bam, right, to make it the hard pose. Bam, right? Bam.
Tremble pose. Pose hard. Pose hard. Faster. Pose. Pose. Pose hard, right?
Bam, right, to make it the hard pose. Bam, right? Bam.
Let's go faster. Change position. Guess what? Now, if this was going down in 1970, between 1972 and 1974, you know, not to drive home the point, but how the f they said they created popping? you understand? They created the Boogaloo style. You know, I don't want to keep harping on him, but my point was, you're seeing some of the evolution of the dance. And then we haven't talked about, like Canisso pointed out, Elastic Boy and Don. And there's more people. So you guys got to understand how the common sense plays a big part in unraveling everything. You got to use your common sense about this. Really, you do. These next two names are very, very important to popping's development and very important to the Electric Boogaloo style and how they developed their style. That's Daryl McDowell, which is Twisto Flex Don, and William Green Jr., which is Tick and Wheel. Pay close attention to Tick and Wheel and what he says.
William Green, aka Tick and Wheel. We used to be messing around in the backyard, and Darnell came up with the name H-Tray Lockers. So, you know, people, they might have thought we was locking because before they seen it, they seen the name. But if they seen it, then they were like, what, that ain't locking, what is they doing? Darnell was the first one I seen popping first. We didn't call it popping, it was just a dance move. After, you know, people started seeing them more, you know, at parties, and people started giving them names. Like, man, like they popping, like he ticking, and that's how the names came about. And then we stuck with the name. Darnell the one who said, we don't lock, we pop. It wasn't locking, it was popping. It was a different dance move. Our dances mostly looked like an exercise. I heard the word creeping when I started creeping. It was at a party in one of the apartments called the Villa. I was just doing it, and I didn't know, but when I did it that night, people started calling it backslide, like he backsliding and creeping. I was about 14 years old. We came up to Old Man. We was at a store called Louis Key. We got it from an old man that was just walking in the store, and he had a crooked leg. And this old man was in front of us, and a lady had asked him, she asked him, can she help him or something? And he said, yeah, and went like this. But his leg was crooked, and he just went like this to the side, and stepped to the counter like this. And me and Darnell was looking, and we started laughing at him. When we laughed, we was like, man, that looked like a move right there, you know. So we started stepping out with it, because he had did like this at the end. And we started stepping out when we started calling the old man, and then we called the old man with the step out. That's how the old man came about right there. Darnell talked so fast. He just be in the mirror, just doing, you know, moves like that. He'd be like, oh man, he said, how this look? You know, and he'd be like, that's cool, man, that's cool. He said, that's Twisto Flex. Well, when he made that Twisto Flex, he did have a slinky, and he used to be playing with it, and that's why he used to, you know, do his shoulders like the slinky, try to do everything that the slinky did. So he used to put it like on the bed or the stairs and watch it go down, or make it go sideways, and he'd try to make up a move off of slinky. So, and he used to basically do it with his body. And so that's where I started calling him Twisto Don. How the Necco Flex came up, I was in this room one day, I was looking in the mirror, and I was turning my neck like this, and then I turned my shoulders with it. Then I was like, I wonder, can I turn my neck and keep my shoulders still, and then turn my neck? Then I did it, and then Don was like, man, that's a Necco Flex. Me and Darnell used to practice in his room because we should be trying to get ready for the West Coast relays. People from out of town be coming in, and they used to have a big party at the convention center. And all groups from all over be coming to the convention center, and they just like, you know, make big circles, and people just be going out, calling each other out and going at it and stuff. So we was trying to be ready for people to come out of town, and people from Oakland and all over, they used to come down and come to the parties after the West Coast relays. One day we went to the park, we was at Rodin Park and on the stage messing around, and that's when we met Boogaloo Sam.
My name is Sammy Solomon, so we go there and we see Trey Locker.
Me and Darnell went up on the stage, and we was up there doing some of our steps, and he was just looking at us, you know, he was just looking at us for a long time, and he finally came on, he said, man, y'all bad, man.
I said, how would y'all like to get in the group? Now that's me.
And we was like, oh, what is y'all? He told us they had practice at Ivy Center. So we was like, man, I don't know if we should get with him, man. We can do our own thing, you know. So we practiced with him the next day. When we met Sam, me and Darnell already had routines. And Sam, they might have had maybe one or two steps, but they was, you know, just mediocre. They was just regular steps. When we got with them, we had with a whole group and do a whole step together. So we showed them. And then we was being there all day trying to show them, you know, how to do it. We'd be like, man, come on, man, it's easy, do it, you know.
So it become unison, right? Looking real tight. We not aware of what we were actually doing, but it looks neat.
Me and Darnell put the popping, the twisting, the twistle flex, old man, all that. Me and Darnell put all that in the step. Sam, he was just like a Boogaloo. So we was like, no, this will look better. So we was like, man, we got to put the twist, you got to put the twister flex in it. And Sam was like, yeah, that's clean. You know, I like that, yeah, you know. So we basically, our moves was already perfected when we met Sam. So when we met Sam, we taught them our style.
The guys was great. It's like the style was just totally from here.
Sam's style was like way different from ours. Boogalooing is way different from popping. It's nothing alike. Boogalooing is just like, you know, just moving your body all kind of ways, you know, doing that. That's boogalooing. And popping is just like moving your muscles. And he seen that. He started putting that with his boogalooing.
So we all in it heavy. Then all of us would imitate the style also.
Me, Sam, and Darnell got together. We became the Electric Boogaloos. Then, you know, we started putting electronic Boogaloo lockers on it, electronic Boogaloo locker.
So now it's only me, Joe Thomas, it's Slim, Nate, and Slide. Darnell McDowell, William Green, and
Albert Prater, we used to call him Tyler Wayne Skeet.
Well, twisting was going to be the style that we're going to portray now, right? Because everybody, we trying to get it all in unison and everything. So Joe and Nate wasn't too flexible with the style that we was doing.
They used to do just slow routines with the robot because they couldn't catch up. We used to be moving too fast for them. So we did a show at our Ivy School. It turned out all right, you know.
The dancers started to get more noticed now in Fresno. Then they started getting to really know our names. Electronic Boogaloo lockers, man, they bad. You should have saw them. Then we got into this talent show at one of our junior high school, Irwin talent show. We got on our knickerbockers, our stripy socks, our little white hats on. So we ended up winning first place, got a big old trophy. We used to just, any contest we would hear about.
We took off from there. We started doing other shows and fashion shows.
I was just branching off weekly, going down into Sacramento, San Jose, who was able to start competing in a more talent fashion. And I was aware of that. Granny and the Robotron, the mechanical devices now that came out, they style, and got hooked up with the Gong Show. The Bay Area got it all down. Fresno got it all down.
About a year later, Sam was telling us about a group they was getting together in Long Beach. So we was like, what? I mean, the Boogaloos is here in Fresno. What they mean, the Boogaloos in Long Beach? So, you know, he said, but they don't know how to dance. That's the only problem. He said, they want us to come down here and show them how to, you know, how to pop and Boogaloo.
My brother Boogaloo Sam, he stayed in Fresno when we left.
So my dad, he gets a job in Southern California. I done left Joe, I done left Nate, I done left the whole crew, right? So I moves down there.
Long Beach at this time was still locking. They hadn't even seen Popping or Boogaloo.
Oh, we throwing down. Oh man, I'm popping Pete. He got the fundamental song.
And they would ask questions, I want to learn how to dance like that. He said, come on over to the house.
This is when it was just me, Pete, and then now we incorporating Gary Allen, which is Scarecrow Scally. And then so Dane didn't quite get it. Keep on working with him. So days go by, finally get it in a rhythmatically type form. Well, it looks sort of good, So we get Boozer, and by him being so short, he looked like a puppet. Put him on some strings or something, Started teaching Boozer, so he would always be flimsy in his arms and stuff.
Me and Sam and other people, members of the group, Electric Boogaloo Rocker, would be practicing. Creep and Sig would be like in the back, looking and doing the routine, learning the things that Sam was teaching. Where other guys were taking a long time to learn the routine, Sid was learning the routine like this. So Sam started noticing that and put in Creep and Sid.
So we get on the RTD transit and we're going to Hollywood. Got a ghetto blaster. So this girl, she saw us. She said, Jeff Kutash, it's a production number, getting ready to go to Lake Tahoe. And maybe he might want to see y'all. Okay, so she gave us the address. He said, yeah, let's see what you got. So we put on the music, man. Cut up, get down. Yeah. Everybody stopped. Everybody's shocked now. His mouth out wide open. It was like, you're hired.
Following the first show at Harrah's Casino in Lake Tahoe, Jeff Kutash asked Sam if he knew of any other dancers he could get.
So I called him, got in touch with him, called him. I said, William, I said, man, you want to come down here, man? Want to go on tour with me?
So me and Darnell was like, I don't know. I talked to Darnell and Darnell was not going to go. When we got down there, it wasn't really like we expected. Because we was having it hard. We was sleeping in the garage and scraping for food. And that mama wouldn't let us sleep in the house. And then plus we had to teach them how to dance on top of all that. When we got there, they didn't have no routine or nothing. So me, Sam, and Darnell, we had routines and we had steps, so we taught them our steps. And those are steps that we used it in the shows. They were Boozer, Sid, Pete, Scotty, Tidaway Ski, Dane, Darnell, Sam, and me. Jeff Kutash, when he wanted us to audition for a show he was putting on, gonna be in Chicago. After the audition, he sat it down, he was talking to her. He said, yeah, he said, I like the Electric Boogaloos. He said, I only got 2 words for you. I'm gonna make you rich, and I'm gonna make you famous. When we got with Jeff Kutash, they changed the name to Jeff Kutash Dance Machine featuring the Electric Boogaloos. See, that was something he tried to make up, but it wasn't our name. We just went for it though. But Darnell, that's when he decided to come back to Fresno, because he felt they ain't gonna do nothing but try to rob us. So I'm going back home. So he didn't even try to pursue it no more. Jeff Kutash, when they split the group up, and they wanted half the group to stay in California, half the group to go to Chicago. Me, Sam, and Skeet ended up going to Chicago. And Pete, Sid, and all the rest of them was doing shows in California.
This 1978 performance of the Long Beach Electric Boogaloo will be the 3rd time Funk Boogaloo had been seen on national television.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Jeff Kutash Dancers.
We was late for a show one night. Dave, like a bodyguard and manager, the Ski got into it. I know I seen him when he snatched him up in the dressing room.
He had a booking to go to Sydney, Australia. Well, I didn't want to go anyway. I didn't want to go. I think, then I get back to L.A., Man, that's it. Forget it, I'm through.
Jeff Kutash would have his assistant talk Sam into performing with the group one more time.
Presenting Dane Parker, Poppin' Pete, and Sam Solomon of the Dancing Machine doing the Boogaloo.
Excited with their newfound notoriety from everyone outside of Northern California's Bay Area, the group continues to perform for Jeff Kutash as his dancing machine. And with Creepin' Sid being the first to backslide on national television, the only problem is they still have not been introduced as the Electric Boogaloo.
Now we got to open up a show for Bobby Goldsboro. Jeff hollered at me and said something about, I don't want you changing that routine. I said, man, I don't want to dance then.
I think we weren't even there 24 hours. Gave Sam his ticket back to L.A. And then they looked at me, since I was Sam's younger brother, they said, what are you going to do? I didn't leave because I wanted to dance. We wasn't getting paid a whole lot of money. But for that reason, we kind of started drifting apart and splitting up. If we were left, everybody else would have followed. You know, it's just follow suit, but it didn't happen like that, and I wish it did.
I poured out, he never kept going. Somehow Don Cornelia got in touch with us, and he wanted to showcase us on a television show. So we left that, then eventually I just said, forget it.
Sam would give up on his dream and live his life out in Fresno. But things weren't so good for Will. One evening in 1982, the Fresno police were chasing a robber. As they looked over a wall, they saw Will sitting with his girlfriend in her backyard. Assuming he was the perpetrator, the police attacked him and almost beat him to death.
Police is down here, and they jumped on me and messed my kidneys up, and that right there ended my career right there, so I couldn't go back. I had gotten messed up, and Darnell, he didn't want to go back without me, so that ended that right there. And next thing you know, I ended up on dialysis, so I quit dancing after that.